Hello everyone. Well, would you believe it? We've had a sprinkling of snow on the mountains and it is pretty cold here. And I'm ashamed to say that I've been shivering away, and there a lot of you are with 2 foot of snow or blizzards and everything coming to you. So we're a bit weak and pathetic when it comes to dealing with the cold here because it generally is so mild. I've just been sowing some various greens. I've got some lettuces, peas, different kales, cauliflower, some sunflower seeds, some lentils, all kinds of things. I've just thrown them in here as a little experiment to see what will come up, and hopefully we will have some greens from this to just keep cutting. My friend Colette does it regularly, so I thought I'll just give it a try and see is it worth it. Got some peas in there as well, so we'll get plenty of pea protein when we're taking them that small. I'll just pop the lid on. So I've had a few questions about how did I end up on this path and why did I get interested in medicinal plants. So it's a bit of a long story really, because as a child I grew up in England in an industrial town, and we regularly visited on holiday, came to see, grandparents, uncles, cousins, and the freedom and the outdoors and the natural world was just something that got inside and has been with me ever since. So I've always been called to the outdoors and the natural world. But I'm a Virgo as well, and Virgos are traditionally or quite typically end up in healing professions. So I have over the years been very interested in natural healing, and I'm a kinesiologist, but I'm a herbalist as well because again it's that natural plant world that keeps calling. And I went off and I sat at the foot of various wise women and I learned my trade from them, and a wise man as well, I must say. There was one wise man. So there are many ways to learn how to use plants as medicine, and anybody can do it. It's our birthright. It's in our genes. Lots of us as children play making magic potions or medicines just by playing with plants. So it is in there, and it is natural to be drawn to that world. But unfortunately, over the centuries, as we moved into a more scientific age and we began to follow the science is actually just a discipline, a way of looking at things. And interestingly enough, it used to be called a natural philosophy because people studied how everything connected and interacted. Why did water wear away the stone? Why did this plant grow and that one didn't? And then in the end, it was all boxed off into separate sciences. So I suppose herbal medicine is a natural philosophy in that how does the plant growing outside affect you, a person, and your interior? It's a very synergistic, lovely, connective way of healing. But anyway, I think one of the problems with herbalism today is that some people feel they really need to defend it and make it just as good as all the scientific types of healing. I don't think that's necessary. I think science, or certainly scientific research into herbal medicine, is very interesting from a place of curiosity, but I don't think it's necessary to confirm anything scientifically, such as this plant does that and this plant does the other, because we already know what the plants do because we have millennia of anecdotal evidence. And even just by applying herbs to yourself, you know that they work and what they can do. And they're so fascinating because each herb can do a myriad of different things. And even from place to place, different communities use the same herbs for different issues. So that's something I think would be very interesting to research. But unfortunately, the scientific research today is funded by people who want specific results. So nobody with money wants to fund scientific research into the efficacy of plants because there's no money in it. Everybody's heard of Hippocrates and his statement, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So that's why I'm growing the greens there. And I'm just about to sow some rhubarb in here. These little seeds have been soaking in water for a few hours just to soften the paper husk around them. But that's another thing about herbal medicine. You know, you're not going to spend time learning how to use plants as medicine if you're eating a junk food diet, you're living off fizzy drinks and processed foods that go in the microwave or get fried. You know, it's a lifestyle. You use plants as food and as medicine, and it's so simple, and sometimes it's the same thing. So the rhubarb here is going to give us fruit for desserts, for jams, for crumbles, you know, lots of ways we can use rhubarb. But it's the same with everything that we grow. Everything we grow here, we try to eat it or make sure it's going to have some positive effect on the environment. So the path, to go back to the question about how did I get onto this path, it's like once you take one step, you take another one and another one, and your life changes because you realize you're actually part of nature. You're not outside of it or separate to it. It's not something that's out there that you sometimes go into. It's actually in you, and you are it. So once you begin to look at what you're eating because you want to become healthy, and then you want to look at a healthy way to maintain that, so you use plant medicine, well, that's the path. You're on it, and a wonderful path it is. So I'm actually running a herbal course at the moment, which is I think it's quite a good in-depth introduction to herbal medicine. Details are below. But otherwise, you can just read books, you can develop and taste the herbs, try them out yourself. What do they taste like? How do they make you feel? You know, it's better, I think, to learn experientially. You know, it's your own experience that is telling you. And any teachers you come across or any books you come across are going to just broaden that experience. And as I said at the beginning, it is your birthright. So please, if you have any notion about being healthy or caring about the environment, do look into letting food be your medicine and medicine be your food, because that is a pathway which it's kind of like coming through a narrow tube into an expansive, beautiful world. So there you go. That's my story anyway of ending up on this herbal path. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, hit the bell, tell your friends, look at the links below, and sending you lots of thanks and blessings for the lovely comments, and I'll see you next week.